Ring Out Podcast. I go by the name of Papa Jr. What are going on, people? What are going on? What are going on? What are going on? The rise and fall of WCPW, man. What Culture Pro Wrestling. This is my top 10 wrestling. This dude uploaded this video 4 years ago. I'm 4 years late with this shit. But this is my first time seeing this video, man. Like, I don't know nothing about this video. I mean, he's talking about What Culture, rise and fall. And I saw that he got a second part. So this is a two-parter. This is the first part. We're going to check that out. If y'all saw this video 4 years ago, shout out to y'all, man. But it's new to me, man. So this is my first time watching this. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Let's do this. Boom.
I am uploading this video at 1 a.m. on August 2nd, 2020.
I did a What Culture. I did a WCPW video already. What was it? It was like the worst episodes from WCPW. It was by another channel. I reacted to that. But it was like last week. I could check that out after this one. But this is the rise and fall.
It was a year ago, on August 2nd, 2019, that the WCPW/Defiant Wrestling YouTube channel uploaded a YouTube video announcing the closure of the promotion. 1 year on, we're going to look at the history of WCPW and look at the reasons that led to its closure, as well as looking back at all the happy memories that this promotion gave you and I. What's going on, guys? It's Tom or Thompson Wrestling, and today we're going to be discussing the rise and fall of What Culture Pro Wrestling / Defiant Wrestling in what is easily my most requested video of all time.
When they switched to Defiant, I was losing it, and in a sense that I was just losing interest week by week. It just came. It was just like leaving. My interest was leaving ever since they changed the name. The people from that were there at What Culture that are now Cultaholic. Everything's just like I don't even care anymore. Ever since they left, it hasn't been the same, bro. I mean, shout out to the channel What Culture on What Culture Wrestling, man. They doing their thing. Adam Pacitti and his guys, you know. But ever since they changed, those guys left. Ross, Adam Blampier, Jack the Jobber, and the dude with the tattoos. I think he plays guitar. Anyways, and they changed their name to Defiant. I just like I'm good.
Like, seriously. Before we do get into it though, I would like to thank my Patreon supporters, Marky D, Alan Barkley, Efren Martin, Greg Williams, Heim, during these trying times, and would be on my Patreon. So check out my Patreon down below. It would really help me during these trying times and would be very
Joe Hendry, man.
But how about we stop wasting
Joe Hendry.
And let's
Brian,
get into this video.
That's Brian Kendrick?
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle.
Bro, you know how long we haven't seen Brian Kendrick, bro? Because the last time we saw him, he had the beard and all that.
And you are watching Top 10 Wrestling. Oh, it's true.
The cameo. Let's get it.
During 2015 to 2016, the What Culture Wrestling YouTube channel was getting very popular and was quickly cementing themselves as the #1 wrestling YouTube channel. What Culture then decided, with their surging popularity, that they were going to take a risk and start a brand new project. That project being their very own wrestling promotion. And on May 25th, 2016, that idea was brought to life, and What Culture Pro Wrestling, or WCPW for short, was announced to the world with major fanfare. Over the next coming weeks, What Culture would begin announcing different wrestlers to appear at their next coming tapings, including Will Ospreay, Damian Sandow, Jay Lethal, Martin Kirby, Primate, Joe Hendry, Big Damo, and more. The first episode of WCPW Loaded was uploaded in parts to the What Culture Wrestling YouTube channel throughout June, featuring Big Damo versus Joe Hendry in a #1 contenders match for the WCPW title as the main event, won by Big Damo, and this show overall was seen as a success and many people enjoyed it. WCPW were attracting stars very quickly. Literally the very next week's show featured Ring of Honor champion Jay Lethal defending his title against Ligero. In WCPW's second episode, they were having a wrestler as big as Jay Lethal defending a prestigious title. Like, that's huge. All these shows were building up to the first WCPW pay-per-view, which was aired for free on YouTube, called Built to Destroy, which featured a blockbuster card, including Jay Lethal defeating Noam Dar to retain his title, and Big Damo defeating Rampage
Mask
to become
versus
the
Pride
first
match.
ever WCPW champion. WCPW was a
I saw Pride match. I thought of. I'm like, wait, what? Pride, as in, you know. I thought of LGBTQ. I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah, whatever makes you happy, man. I support you. Seriously.
originally airing on the What Culture channel, but the pay-per-view was aired on a different channel and all future programming would air on this channel too. It was basically a WCPW YouTube channel.
Yeah, what the fuck moments. I remember this. Does he still do those in Cultaholic? I don't even know. But I remember always looking forward to the what the fuck moments, man. Always looking forward to that shit. Man. This is what I first started watching like wrestling content on YouTube, you know? Shit was crazy.
Dedicated to WCPW, so the What Culture Wrestling channel wasn't getting flooded. As well as this, the location of WCPW would move from a warehouse to the O2 Academy in Newcastle, a big upgrade in the venue, and the next few weeks of Loaded would see some crazy matches, including Damien Sandow versus Doug Williams and Will Ospreay versus Martin Kirby. The next pay-per-view called Stacked would come around in September, and it was stacked. We saw Moose, EC3, Pete Dunne, Drew McIntyre, Will Ospreay, and Marty Scurll all competing in matches, as well as Tegan Knox becoming the first WCPW Women's Champion, and Joseph Connors claiming the WCPW World Championship from Big Damo.
I believe in What Culture Pro Wrestling, it was the first time I've ever seen Will Ospreay. I believe it was there, man. Look at that. Moose was there. Moose been wrestling forever, bro. Drew Galloway. I loved Drew Galloway, man. That dude was another one. He was a different guy. Now McIntyre, he's fucking amazing now. So it was a great thing that he got fired, reinvented himself, and look at him now. Will Ospreay, like I said, I believe it was in WCPW I first saw Will Ospreay. SX, some shit like that. SX. Cause he has a little whole little group. And he was dating Bea Priestley at that time. Grado was the funny guy, was wearing a hat. Good times, man.
On the 10th of September 2016 Loaded episode, Joe Hendry won the Kurt Angle Invitational Rumble, where the winner would face Kurt Angle at the upcoming pay-per-view, which, let me reiterate, WCPW had scored Kurt freaking Angle.
I think I watched that.
Their Refuse to Lose pay-per-view, which would be WCPW's first.
Look at that. Minoru Suzuki, Joe Coffey. Ligero. I enjoyed Ligero. Fuck Alberto Patron. Fuck that guy. Travis Banks, I enjoyed watching. They had Cody Rhodes, bro. Cody Rhodes. Look at Cody now. Fucking A. Nixon Noel. She sounds familiar. She was champion at the time. Isn't Kimberly? You know, I'm confused. I'm Kylie Ray. Was it? Is that no? No, Kylie Ray was Kylie Ray. No, this is a different person. My bad. You know how these people be changing their names.
Ever live paid pay-per-view, and this show was stacked.
Joseph Connors,
facing Joe
Martin
Coffey,
Kirby was
Cody
the bald
Rhodes
guy.
defeated Doug Williams, El Ligero defeated Alberto Del Rio and Travis Banks to win the new WCPW Internet title, and Kurt Angle defeated Joe.
And look at the time. Damn, 23 minutes.
Really
I mean, it was a championship match.
Received a fair bit of backlash, as it was their first live pay-per-view. It had lots of technical issues, and to many viewers, the live stream was completely unwatchable. Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time where I was looking forward to, I think it was a Loaded show. It took forever. It would happen, but I will never forget it. It took forever. I think I left. It was right after school. No, I'm lying. It wasn't after school. After work. I'm thinking about school. I don't know why. Well, I did finish high school late. Um, it was whatchamacallit, after work, looking forward to it live. And it took like almost 2 hours for the show to start. I'm like, why this shit still has the loaded screen?
The next pay-per-view would
And
be
then they told
pre-taped
us
and
why.
free once again, while they figured out how to fix the issues for when they would return to live pay-per-views. And this event was True Legacy, by the way, their first show outside of Newcastle, which featured Kurt Angle versus Cody Rhodes as the main event. Major
They had
stuff.
Melina too.
The final show of 2016
Kurt
was
Angle
Delete
versus Cody
WCPW,
Rhodes.
a show built around broken Matt Hardy, who faced Bully Ray on this show. Also on this show,
Rey
Cody
Mysterio
Rhodes
was
won the Internet
there.
title. Drew McIntyre won the world title, and hey, John Morrison was there too. The star power that WCPW was attracting was
Bully Ray, I
genuinely
remember him there
insane.
too.
No British
And Broken
indie
Matt.
promotion was doing it like they were. So that was the first 6 months of WCPW, an amazing start. So what's next? Well, on January 18th, 2017, What Culture Pro Wrestling announced the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Oh,
a
I enjoyed that
64-man
too.
multinational tournament along with mini qualifying tournaments, and this idea was laughed at by the British wrestling community.
No,
who
I
thought there was
enjoyed that.
absolutely no way they could pull this off, but boy did they ever. Let me
Yes.
just read out some of the names who were featured in the tournament. Alberto Del Rio, Bobby Fish, Drew McIntyre, Ray Phoenix, James Storm, Jay Lethal, Keith Lee, Kyle O'Reilly, Kushida, Marty Skull, Matt Sydal, Nick Aldis, Pentagon Jr., Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Will Ospreay, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Do y'all hear those names, bro? For a show, a promotion that was only 6 months old at the time. Fucking A, they got all those stars, bro. I remember Ray there, Keith Lee there. I remember all those names. And they had their flags. They were representing their flags. I remember the Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. That's my first time seeing that match there. Even though I think they faced before that. Probably New Japan. Yeah, probably New Japan. But I remember that match. They did their spot and they broke the fucking top turnbuckle. They broke the the third rope.
Just to name a few. This tournament would take place throughout the majority of 2017, all while WCPW were continuing to hold their own shows, including travelling abroad for the first time to places such as Scotland, Germany, and America for Mania weekend. It was also around this time
This
that
dude was a fucking Futurama fucking fan. The lobster guy. Like, what the fuck?
Martin Kirby, one of WCPW's most over wrestlers,
Yeah, he
won
was.
the world title in my favorite all-time moment for the promotion. It was great. The tournament would conclude on August 26, 2017, with Kushida defeating Ospreay in the finals to win, and the whole tournament was a huge success. However, soon after this, things would start to change for WCPW. First of all, on September 19th, 2017, What Culture Wrestling announced the departures of Adam Pacitti, Adam Blompier, Sam Driver, Jack King, and King Ross. While these departures mainly affected the
Sam
What Culture
Driver, that's
bottom
his
line,
name.
this did also have somewhat of an effect on WCPW, which I will explain later. And then just 11 days after this, WCPW then announced that they would be renaming and rebranding to Defiant Wrestling starting December 4th. It seems that they were really trying to reinvent themselves. Fast forward to December 4th, where
Don't change don't fix what doesn't need to be broken, bro. And look what happened.
Defiant is officially born, and they have their first pay-per-view on this night to welcome you to Defiant Wrestling. And on this pay-per-view, the main thing you notice with the card is that there is a significant lack of star power
Wow.
compared to the previous WCPW shows. And as the pay-per-views went on,
Kaylee
throughout
Ray,
the
there she
years,
go.
it was apparent that the days of shows with names such as Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, Matt Hardy, Cody Rhodes, and other international wrestling superstars was long gone. and it seemed as though Defiant were focused on the British wrestling scene. Now that's not to take away from the action, there were some great people wrestling there. Kaylee Ray, for example, was there. She's brilliant. They would only occasionally have international stars such as Austin Aries, Pac, and Will Ospreay making appearances. And if you looked at the YouTube channel numbers, you would see that Defiant had lost a lot of viewers and were nowhere near getting the same amount of viewership that they were during the WCPW days. Ironically enough, their biggest draw, or one of their biggest draws, was Simon Miller, who had only recently started wrestling. Through 2018 and 2019, it had become very apparent that Defiant Wrestling had fallen.
Was it a money issue? Like the higher ups of What Culture wanted to like save money? Like, oh, we got the fan base. Now we don't need to pay for these superstars anymore. We want to focus on British wrestling. And we got the fan base. Now let's have this fan base. The worldwide, we got this fan base. Focus on British wrestling. And probably Blampier, King Ross, Jobber, Sam Driver they didn't agree to it. So they decide to leave and do their own thing. This is me guessing. Decided to do their own thing, and then and it wasn't the same without those guys for War Culture Pro Wrestling, you know? So they had to fucking rebrand. They had to rename to save money, change. Don't fix. Don't fix what's not broken, man. Cause like I said, once they changed to Defiant and I saw those guys leave, it didn't feel the same anymore. The excitement just left. And I never looked back.
In 2016 and 2017, we saw Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio, whereas now we're seeing these local UK guys, which not to take away from them, they're very good, but they are nowhere near as popular as your Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio is.
They could have used those superstars to elevate the British wrestlers, man. Like the ladies and the men. Bring more eyes to the product. Even if you if you rebrand it, you renamed it. But I think it was a money issue. They wanted to save. They got the fan base. We'll be perfectly fine without the superstars. We'll do great with our wrestlers. I feel like that was their mindset, the higher ups.
Defiant continued on through 2018 and 2019, with thousands of loyal fans still watching, but not as much as there used to be. And on June 29th, 2019, Defiant helped Build to Destroy 2019. And after this show, Defiant went silent for a bit, not holding any shows. And sure enough, on August 2nd, 2019...
I just checked before I started this video. I went to their page. Last time they did a live stream 6 years ago. Last time they uploaded a video 4 years ago. Holy shit, bro.
Defiant Wrestling closed its doors and ceased operations. Many wrestlers took to social media, past and present, for WCPW and Defiant to pay their respects and reminisce on the great times they had in WCPW. So what happened? What were the reasons why WCPW/Defiant Wrestling died? Let's break it down. I have 3 main reasons. Let's talk about it. First of all, the staff departures. Though you do have to take into account that Blompier, Pacitti, whatever, they were more affecting the What Culture Wrestling YouTube channel by leaving, they were still gonna affect the WCPW channel. Like, people stopped...
Oh, Pacitti left too. Oh, I'm confusing with some other dude. I'm confusing Pacitti with some other guy. The other blonde dude with the glasses. That isn't What Culture. I'm confusing. Okay, Pacitti did leave too, man. I'm bugging out. Yeah, he's in Cultaholic. Yeah, I don't know the other guy name. It's a skinny, scrawny guy. Blonde hair as well.
Watching What
No
Culture
beard, no
as
mustache.
a whole after these left, including not watching WCPW. And if you look at the numbers, like I said, Simon Miller, who was a personality on What Culture, he was one of WCPW's biggest draws, and I can guarantee you there were people watching WCPW to see these guys, even though they aren't wrestlers, because it's cool to see these guys mixing in with wrestlers. And I guess maybe when they left, people thought that it wasn't really the same anymore. Number two is how they changed completely from WCPW to Defiant Wrestling.
Before he continues, listen, if y'all don't like the pausing and the talking, I don't know what to tell you. This is my freaking channel. If y'all do like it, I respect y'all, man. I fucks with y'all if y'all made it this far. But Simon Miller for me was the first guy that I've ever heard his podcast, wrestling podcast. I was new to the wrestling community and shit. I was exploring. Simon Miller was the first wrestling podcast I ever heard. Seriously. And then led me to What Culture Pro Wrestling. And then it opened more, you know, start exploring more. I saw Steven Larson. Then fucking WrestleMania and all those guys. Then I saw more podcasters, Solid Monster, JD, Don Tony, What's Wrong with Wrestling. Freaking I just started listening to Jim Cornette. And he's been in the game for fucking years, bro. I'm late to the party, you know? I'm missing Wrestling Soup and all these guys, man. So shout out to Simon Miller and What Culture Pro Wrestling that, they were the first for me.
WCPW and Defiant Wrestling feel like two completely different eras, because WCPW was bringing in all these international stars,
Yeah.
whereas Defiant seemed like a whole different promotion. And it could just be the simple thing where someone sees they're subscribed to Defiant Wrestling, clicks on the channel, sees matches that aren't similar to WCPW and think, what the hell is this? When did I subscribe to this? And just don't know what it is. It's as simple as that. But the problem for me, the main thing I think, was that WCPW, they blew their load too quickly. Right from their first year of operations.
I
They were bringing in
agree.
Kurt Angle, Matt Hardy, Rey Mysterio, and they must have spent way too much money, because when they rebranded to Defiant, they were using a lot less popular names. And when you go from this huge international wrestling company with Kurt Angle and all these big names to just a British wrestling company, you're going to alienate your fans, and most of your viewers aren't going to stick around. And that's exactly what happened.
Yep. That's exactly what happened, man. People got used to it, bro. Seeing, the big stars coming to WCPW. We all got used to it. And then y'all changed everything. What the fuck are these guys? These guys were in now they in Defiant. These no, ain't doing it. No, it's not doing it for me. Sorry.
And then the third reason, which was just the nail in the coffin, NXT UK. Obviously, Defiant, they became a UK promotion. Remember what I said about Kaylee Ray being there? Kaylee Ray's awesome, but when NXT UK formed, people like Kaylee Ray were taken out of WCPW. So not only did Defiant turn into a British promotion, but then NXT UK came around and limited what they could do as a British promotion. It was just unlucky, really. The year they decided to rebrand as a big wrestling UK promotion is when NXT UK forms, and sure enough, they poached all their talent, and that was it, really. And yeah, that's it for the rise and fall of WCPW. There were a couple of things I didn't mention, such as the YouTube demonetization thing, because I didn't really think that was worth mentioning again. And yeah, that was it for WCPW. I call it WCPW over Defiant because that's where my memories come from.
Yeah, mine too, man. That's the end of the video. Well, yeah, that's it. He has a part two. We're gonna check that shit out. But yeah, man. Um, we got used to the superstars, man. Y'all were bringing in NXT UK. Oh God, if they would have kept it going now, well, they got a lot going on right now with Evolve and LFG, the NXT right now. But if they kept it going with NXT UK, Who's that? British guy. Is a black guy. Oku something. He's popular right now. Well, I don't know about right now, but he was popular last year. He had a match with Will Ospreay. Still haven't seen him wrestle, but I heard a lot of fucking great things about this guy. He could have been on NXT UK if the NXT UK was still a thing nowadays. Like the UK British. The UK had have a amazing wrestlers out. That's a wrestling country right there. And football, soccer. The way we say here, soccer, but football. But that's a wrestling country right there, bro. They bleed wrestling out there, man. Seriously. We would have seen amazing fucking matches in NXT UK. The fans, I love the fans. You guys are amazing over there, bro, in the UK. In Europe, all of Europe, man. Seriously. Rise and Fall, man. WCPW. I saw there's a part 2. We're gonna check that out. I go by the name of Papo Jr. This is the Ring Out Podcast. Subscribe, like if I deserve it. If you made it to the end of the video, man, I appreciate y'all. Comment down below your memories, your favorite moments about What Culture Pro Wrestling, all that good stuff, man. And yeah, until next time, man.
Goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang.
Peace.